not patronizing, but they're not a critic. They're not finding fault.
Yeah.
As soon as you start finding fault with it, I don't like his music, or he's weird. He dropped acid and he got weird. That's criticism. that's being critical.
Yeah.
So a journalist is kind of rooting for you. Like one journalist said, I wouldn't want to be with David Bixby for very long. Now, I don't know if that's negative or not. It doesn't seem like it. Just because it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Everything about, what I came through and, bizarre. And my wife is getting to know me pretty much. She says, you're more normal than you think. But I always made for instance, when we talked about Trump, I don't think much about him at all. I don't think he's good or bad as a leader. I liked him because everybody else hates him. Yeah. And the fact that he could care less, I admire that. As a leader, he may not be any good. He might get us in more trouble than we are now. I don't know. And I'm not looking for him to get this country straightened out. I don't think this country will get straightened out. I think we'll just be parted out to the rest of the world as our money collapses. And pretty soon China will be running Yellowstone National Park, and giving us a better deal.
Yeah, probably.
Than our own government. Yeah. Well, see, I've been studying countries that collapse over the decades, especially in Europe. And when your country doesn't have any money, then you use your land as collateral. So you can borrow money based on your land, but if you can't pay it back, guess what? Your country gets foreclosed on. And we owe China so much money. We can't operate without borrowing.
Yeah.
And why we gave all our jobs to them, we should have been giving them to Mexico or Canada. If we're a Christian nation, we ought to be taking care of our neighbors, not China. China's not our neighbors. China's going to take us down. Those people are disciplined, man. We're fat, sloppy, and arrogant,
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. You ever seen some of those things where they all do, 300 people or 1,000 people do, some kind of a choreographed dance or something? I mean, it's just...
Oh, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Perfect, Put guns in those people's hands and send them into New York, man. They clean up the whole city. It's like all in one swoop, working together as one mind. Where where we're all running scattered, looking for leadership, looking for somebody to tell us what to do. And I'm being critical right now. I'm, kind of bashing America.
Yeah.
Only because I am, and we can.
And Dave, alongside possibly doing a band work with you, writing these articles, if you ever want help with your social media, just give me a shout. Because I think that, your page, the internet is kind of making whatever career is developing for you right now. And I think the internet has really helped Quetzalcoatl reach people. So I think a properly optimized Facebook page could...
Would you be interested in running that or setting that up?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'd happily do that.
And also on that page, I would like to include people that have opened for me, and include your band and you guys, and make it about David. But here's the thing. Here's what Vice Media told me. Oh, by the way, I want to share your story. I got offered $5,000 for Sun in the Morning for a rapper named Rocky.
Really?
And
this is ASAP Rocky.
ASAP Rocky.
Yeah.
Okay, so I called my friend at Vice, and he says, well, you need to be asking $10,000. He says, the music business has changed since you were doing your thing, and you need an attorney. So the Vice attorney got a hold of me, and he said, David, I can help you with this negotiation so you get all your electronic downloads, and there's a lot of ways. And if it turns into a movie, there's a lot of ways you'll lose money if you take the cash amount. You know, you're giving. You know, I still have copyright, but I don't have electronic downloads. Okay. At any rate, he said, but as soon as Vice starts shooting a documentary on you, then there's conflict of interest. I can't be your attorney. So let me turn you over to another attorney, friend of mine, who's a musician, and that's all he does is negotiate. So he says, go back with 10. He says, I'll take it on if you want me to, but now that, I said, well, I've already negotiated with him, and I want to personally just finish it out. And so I went back and said, well, give me 10. And the guy I was talking to, he says, would you take 7,500 and meet me in the middle? And I said, yes, I would. Then I listened to Rocky's music. And I thought, you know what? I can't let this guy have my song.
Yeah.
He's gross, man. He just, oh, man. He gave me the finger 4 times. I usually defriend people that do that. And so I listened to the song, and I had a reporter, young guy, said, what's it like to have Rocky use your song off of Bandcamp? And he said, do you understand the song? I said, no. And I said, I was thinking about not taking the money because I just wasn't sure what he would turn the song into, you know, something to flush a toilet with. And so he said, no, it's a song about Rocky's lament where he was sorry for some gun activity he was in and lost a friend. And somebody died, and I thought, man, okay, that sounds like a Quetzalcoatl guy. Mm-hmm. And so he said, you got to listen to the song. So they sent me a sampler, and I listened to it. I didn't understand it, but it wasn't foul. There wasn't nothing about it that I said, okay, I'll take the money. Give me the money. So they sent me the money. Meanwhile, I invested that money into albums. I bought out the remainder of Harbinger albums from Gearson, and they're not going to produce anymore. So when these are gone, they're truly collector's items. So I was glad to be sitting on like 50 of those. And bought some studio time. And I went into the studio, and the songs weren't coming out right. And I hadn't performed in so long, so I decided to just start doing concerts again. And when I'm done doing concerts, I'm going to just go into the studio just like I did with the first album, and I'm just going to have it down. You know, I have to do retakes or editing or anything like that. I just want it tight. And when you play performances, you lock down the song on the way it should be. A lot of times you play it a couple different ways. Then pretty soon you find this is the way it should be. And so that was a whole story of me looking into the business world of music and the attorneys from New York that were cautioning me on how easy it is to get ripped off. And Vice is trying to get agreements from me because the story can be stolen and put into a fiction with other characters. So he's trying to protect, the guy from Vice is trying to protect himself. And then I got a book being written, and that book is going to probably be part of that. And probably what you write. I told him that I was talking to you, and what you write might be used in part of the promotion.
Really?
Because he's collecting stuff from all over. And he got the idea from Far Off Sounds. If you've never seen that, they did a documentary where we went back to the church that I was and going back to Michigan, and they flew me out. And that's worth finding if you can find it on Google. Far Off Sounds, and take a look at it. They call it God Singing Man. And I don't always feel like God Singing Man, but that's how they named me. Damn. And so they did a good job, and Vice wants to do a similar thing. And like you say, the BBC. And I was thinking maybe coming to England and visiting and just staying as long as I could, and do these tours in Germany. And he's got a couple places in England, and you might know of a couple places. And,
oh yeah, for sure.
And so, you know, if I was there long enough where people could schedule me in, because when I went to Detroit on my first tour in 2011, Detroit heard about me. They put out a call on the internet, would you come to a David Bixby concert if we could get him up here tomorrow night? And it was overwhelming. It was the biggest concert of the tour, and they put it together in 24 hours. And I thought if I was just available, you know, just get over there and be available, things that I don't know about could make themselves, everybody knows somewhere, you know, old churches that they turned into concert halls, and outside venues when the weather's nice, inside venues when the weather gets, you know, a little snotty, and so, you know, I'm willing to come on over there and spend some time and work with you guys. Let's just, you know, let me just help. You can write an article. You can call me. A lot of people have written articles without even talking to me, and they're just repeating what's been said. And you know, I share a lot of stuff right now with you that journalists don't know about. And so, you know, you've got what I would consider like an inside track, so you can be an authority. You can represent me. You know, if you wanted to set up a concert, if you wanted to write an article, if you wanted to get me on a radio station, local radio station while I'm there.
Yeah, I live just next door around the corner from a BBC radio station.
Oh, okay.
My friend's girlfriend works at the BBC as well. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, I went to New York and went to the college radio station, and I did a multi-track recording of a song, and that's the first time they had anybody in there that could do multi-recording. They had the equipment, they just didn't have anybody to work with. And then they wanted to get me booked in to do speaking engagements, playing songs in between what I had to say, and finding songs that were saying what I was saying. I said, well, that's what I do now. I play songs and then I talk. And then I play another song. Well, here you talk and you play a song. Same thing.
That's a great idea.
I thought, yeah, it was a good idea. And I've done a few of those, and they're really, I probably should maybe focus on that. Because people have questions.
Yeah.
You know, you have questions. What was your first trip like? Was it spiritual? Would you recommend it? You know, I'm still not sure if I'd recommend it, but I don't know if I'd discourage it either. You know, I'm about as neutral. I'll go ahead, drop. It's okay. If it doesn't work out, call me.
Yeah. Damn. Well, I'll for sure. I'll ask around, gauge some interest, but I think there would definitely be some enthusiasm about you playing in the venues in Brighton.
What do you do to make a living?
Well, I work in public relations.
Okay, so you're already okay. So you're writing. Do you get paid to write?
Yeah, I get paid to write. I get paid to pitch. Got journalist friends. And then on the side, I do freelance writing, and
I can help you do your job.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can call me. You can email me. Let's move this along.
Sure.
And you have my permission to go forward to represent me. And if there's anything that comes up, give me a holler. Derek will work with you.
Yeah.
And on a bunch of stuff as far as multimedia. If you want to do something like that, he's been pretty good with it, and it's worked for me. Without Derek, a lot of doors would not have opened. I wouldn't be talking to you if it wasn't for Derek. He got Bandcamp started. And so, I'll just consider you part of the staff. You and Derek, and there's a few other people you might meet someday.
Awesome.
And the guy from Vice,
Yeah.
and maybe we can get some of your stuff into Vice.
That'd be great, man. Yeah.
And Kleeman has asked me for a couple of things, but my writing isn't so, he did a really good article and then did another one. I haven't seen the second one. I don't know if he published it. But it was real generic and probably not boring. And probably something you would write about me would be better than I'd write about myself.
Mm.
And Kleeman would be, he said he was willing to share my thoughts in publications. He's been personally responsible for getting the music worldwide, global, and along with Gearson Records. So, I owe Gleeman a lot of thanks for, what he's done to open doors for me.
Yeah.
And I use when I'm trying to sell myself to somebody or get a concert going, I use Psychedelic Baby Magazine as a link, and they go and they read the article, and they come back and go, "Whoa, you're bigger than I thought."
Yeah.
And so it keeps me from having to brag about myself and try and sell myself. It's just you talk to this guy,
Yeah.
Get a recommendation from him, and that's basically what you're doing. You're recommending me, and you're recommending the music. And it's interesting, and it's cultural. It's the change of America going back 50 years, and which this time is quite a lot. 2,000 years ago, 50 years was slow. In the last 50 years, we just got internet not too long ago.
Yeah, pretty much.
10 years, 20 years. I don't know when Forbes and those guys put it together, but I can remember when they were getting ready to do the internet, and they were all scared that there would be no safeguards and your privacy would go away. And they were right.
Yeah, they were a bit right, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's the world. Nothing would happen for me without the internet, without the collectors talking about it on the internet and the Facebooks and all of that. Zero. So to me, it's a good thing.
I think it's definitely a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing right up until the day it doesn't work anymore.
What's your guy from Vice called again? Sorry.
What's that?
What's the guy from Vice called again? Sorry.
From high school?
No, from Vice. What's the guy called?
Oh, his name is Greg Eggebeen.
Greg Eggebeen.
And I will... Eggebeen. It's a Dutch name.
Okay.
And I'll if you don't mind, I'll send your email to him. I'll tell him what I'm working on with you.
That'd be amazing.
And he's pretty. He might give you a call directly. He called my author. He called 2 other people who were writing books. And I've had a couple video people come into concerts, and he says, "Hook me up with those people. I might be able to use some of their video." And what you wrote so far, or what you're working on, you might be able to help him.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if I come over there. What he would like is to see me come over to England and Europe and tour, and for him to drop in on a couple of concerts with his camera guy. And you might be with your job and everything, I think you two ought to talk. I think you might be able to do business.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be amazing.
So, yeah, if you don't mind, I'll next time I talk to him. In fact, I'll go in and just forward your. Have you given me your email? Have we?
Yeah. We've been emailing.
Okay. I didn't. Okay, I'll just forward your email to him with a little note telling him that you're doing a piece. We're doing some research, and you're a writer, and that you might be able to help him put his thing together.
That's amazing. Thanks, Dave. Yeah. But in any case, thanks a lot for this. Coming up to 3 hours now, and there's not been one boring second. Very interesting chat.